Yeah, hi everybody at YouTube, and I am Michael Buckoff, the founder, owner, and the materials writer for all the lessons at the 7-Step System to Pass the TOEFL iBT, your online TOEFL course. Now, you might be asking, why are you doing this video? So let me explain. A lot of people know that I have a YouTube channel, obviously. I have about 3 million views at my channel. I have almost 11,000 subscribers, so many people know, but not everybody. They don't always know I have an online TOEFL course, so I want to tell you guys, I have an online TOEFL course that teaches about 10,000 students a year. They come from 60 countries or more. I help them to improve their TOEFL score. They do speaking practice, they do writing practice, they can practice their vocabulary, grammar, their pronunciation, their listening, speaking, and so on, right? So that's why students will join my course. Now, in the video that you're watching here, you will see the kind of feedback that I give my online TOEFL course students, especially in these cases when they're doing pronunciation and speaking practice, right? In fact, in the first part of this video, one of my students completed a pronunciation pretest, so she's trying to figure out how to improve her pronunciation. So as she goes through these lessons, she will be reading these sentences, and then at the end of the video I will tell her what specific areas she needs to work on. So each of these things that she's doing here, it represents several lessons that I have, video lessons, to help her to speak more clearly. So that is what you're watching. Alright, so now let's listen to the first few lessons here. Lesson number 26, 27, 28. These focus on grammatical word endings and syllable division. So let's see how she's doing in this area.
Act, active, actively, activity, compete, competed, competitive, competitively, humid, humidify, humidifier, dehumidifier, budget, budgeted, budgetary.
So she's pronouncing these grammatical endings and the syllables in the words, but she is having some word stress issues.
Marriage patterns in rural Turkey are noticeably influenced by endogamous preferences within both villages and kinship groups. Pay, pays, part, parts, run, runs, cuff, cuffed, pass, passed, saved, judged, sorted, sifted, planted, circumstances, conditioning,
Okay, now she's moving to word stress, so let's take a look here. See how she's doing in this area.
Techniques, discussion, restructured, consecutive, dysfunctional, retreat, positive, classical, religious.
Okay, I'm going to put down lesson 29. I think she needs to do some word stress practice.
Harmony, provide, air conditioner, glass cleaner, myself, myself, 13 to 30, 14 to 40.
She's definitely having problems with lesson 30, so the stress 14, she needs to put more stress on that second syllable.
15 to 50, 16 to 60, 17 to 70, 18 to 80, 19 to 90.
She got better as she got into it.
Downwind, outdoors, break into, take out. The conduct of the conductor was inappropriate. She objected to being an object of his affection. Disrespect, interlock, outpace.
Okay, let's see. Let me scroll down a little bit and have her keep going here.
USA, GPA, CEU, academic, analytical, diversity, 45, cardiology, discussion,
So part of the problem here, she needs to make that stress syllable clearer, louder, longer, and higher pitched.
Geography, cautious, Canadian, chronological, absentee, overseer, Vietnamese, pictures cue, technique, corvative.
Notice it's picturesque. So she's probably never seen that kind of word before. She has no idea how to pronounce that.
Educate, education, motivate, motivation, operate, operation, orated, he ate it, position, he fixed it, assume, a broom, cool bike, cool biker, coolest biker.
Now listen, 33, 34, and 36, she's now getting into what I call sentence rhythm, right? So I need to monitor how she's doing in this area also.
The player left the game in the fourth quarter. Mr. Jones is grading his papers today. Can you give me a burger with cheese? She spoke with you. How's your homework coming along? Sue can go to the store. Sue can't go to the store. She can run the whole distance. She can't run the whole distance. She was at his house yesterday. She wasn't at his house yesterday. Jane could talk to the other workers. Jane couldn't talk to the other workers.
So listen, 35, everybody has trouble with this one. The auxiliary verb can. Sue can go to the store. So this is sentence rhythm. She needs to put more emphasis on the main verb, less emphasis on the auxiliary verb. So she could improve in that area.
Did John go to the game last week? John went to the game yesterday. What do you want to do? What do you want to do?
No, she should say, what do you want to do? Speaker B then says, what do you want to do? So this is a intonation issue, so she's not sure how to do that. Okay, let's keep going. Intonation is one of those areas everybody has a lot of trouble in this area.
What are you working on? I'm working on a composition. What kind of composition? It is a history composition. When is it due? It is due Friday morning.
Okay.
There is an advantage and a disadvantage to your idea.
Notice she's not changing her intonation at all. So she should say there is an advantage and a disadvantage to your idea.
Did she go on a vacation in the summer? It was the winter when she went on vacation. That was a great movie. I'll say it was good. Why didn't you return the book to the library? You're wrong. I did return the book to the library.
So if she were saying that with natural sounding tone, she'd say something like this. Why didn't you return the book to the library? You're wrong. I did return the book to the library. So she has to put a lot of emphasis on this word do, because it's contrasting what was previously said there. Or that was a great movie. I'll say it was good. So she's not varying her intonation. So that's something that I have to tell her that she needs to work on. For sure.
I like apples, bananas, oranges, lemons, and grapes.
That was actually pretty good. So she says, I like apples, bananas, oranges, lemons, and then her tone drops when she gets to the final item.
She has 12 members in her family. She has 12 members. My phone number is 888-9002. Did you say 888-9002?
So she could make it a little higher. 888. She'll say 902.
I want to leave Johnny. I want to leave Johnny. I'm going to the United States. Where? Excuse me, where are you going? I'm going to the United States. Where? What city in the United States will you go to? 3 23-foot-long sticks.
Now this last part, I'm checking what's called pacing. I'm trying to diagnose if she has any problems with her pacing or her blending. That's what I'm looking for, right? Let's go here. And that's essentially what my job is. After she does the pronunciation pretest, then I will tell her which lessons in my online course she needs to review in order to improve in those areas.
23-foot-long sticks. Where are you going? I'm going to Los Angeles. I'm going to Los Angeles with my friends later on. Bobby Thompson, who lives in my neighborhood, is coming to visit tomorrow. Very ordinary looking, vampire bats weigh about 1 ounce and a half a body, which is the size of an adult thumb.
An adult's thumb. So she's having some blending issues. And even when she read that first sentence, the tone at the end of Thompson should be slightly higher because it's not the final thought group. So she should say, Bobby Thompson, who is in my neighborhood, is coming to visit tomorrow. Then her tone drops when she gets to the end.
Francis Galton, a cousin of Charles Darwin, was interested in the measurement of intelligence because he wanted to increase it through selective reading. Can you hold up the painting for me? I wore a light sweater for the football game. Maybe you should ask Kenneth. He may know the answer.
Got it. So now my job is, what I just did, is I had her complete this pretest which focuses in the following areas: syllable division and grammatical word endings, word stress, sentence rhythm, intonation, and thought groups and blending. That's exactly what I'm trying to figure out now. Now my job now is to give her some comments. Okay, now what I need to do is to talk to her. I'm going to create an audio file and give her some audio comments. Yeah, hi there, and I am Michael, the founder, owner, and the materials writer for all of your lessons at the online TOEFL course, and these comments are for Nisha. So first of all, thank you for completing this pretest, and second of all, I'm now going to give you some specific comments. So based on your pretest, here are the lessons that you want to focus on. You might want to write these down. Lesson number 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, and 44. So you need a lot of practice in a lot of areas. And if you want, from time to time, if you want to get some feedback, remember what my rule is. You can send me 60 seconds of speaking or pronunciation practice a day. The exception is the pretest that you just did and then the first one. You can send me the whole thing. I'm okay with that. But you can send your pronunciation and your speaking practice daily like you've been doing. So keep up the good work. And remember, it's really important to go through these video lessons. My recommendation for you, Nisha, is to read out loud as you go through those videos and really practice with me as you're going through those exercises. All right? And thank you for completing that pretest. Okay, so now I give her these comments. Now, if you like getting pronunciation feedback and speaking feedback, and you want to be able to practice things daily and improve your speaking and pronunciation, join my online course. I will give you exactly the same kind of feedback that you see here. Now, if you do not want to practice pronunciation, if you don't want to get feedback on your speaking tasks, then do not join my online course. All right, I'm going to go ahead and send her these comments. Okay, this next student is also practicing pronunciation, so let's take a look at what he's trying to do here. So he's practicing the P and the B consonant sounds, so I'm going to give him some feedback to let him know how he's doing in that area. Yo, hi there, Srikanth, and I am Michael, the founder, owner, and the materials writer for all of your lessons at the 7-step system to pass the TOEFL IBT. So good to hear from you today. Thank you for emailing me your pronunciation practice. And let's get started with your first one here. So let's listen to it. So we'll do number 1 right away.
What's recording say 1? The pain can be shooting.
You see the pain, the P, you're not pronouncing that with enough air.
Pain. The burning pain. Or even extremely piercing pain. 2. The time capsule is a container that is filled with objects.
Okay, let's listen to the next one here. So I'm going to go over them with you in just a minute here, so let's keep going.
Show important things about the way people live in a certain time and place. 3.
Again, certain time, the T, more air, time and place.
Insulin has already been made by incorporating genetic material into bacteria, the culture of which have become synthesized of insulin. 4. Laboratory research in Europe demonstrated that gray patterns could
Let's say gray parrots.
learn the kinds of symbolic and conceptual tasks that are generally considered as pre or co-realistic for complex
Co-requisites. You want to say pre or co-requisites.
cognitive and communication skills. 5. Vampire bats
Need to put more with the V there. Vampire.
can move side to side and backward, similar to spider. Instead of taking off in flight from the ground, these bats actually launch themselves into the air with pictorial powerful muscle.
No, with powerful pectoral muscles. So you had a word order issue there. Okay, and this one you're not really intelligible, I will be honest with you. So I'm going to say you have not mastered, I think, the P consonant sound. Let's practice together. So you ready, Srikanth? Here we go. The pain can be a shooting pain, a burning pain, or even an extremely piercing pain. Number 2, a time capsule is a container that is filled with objects that show important things about the way people live in a certain time and place. Now also, Srikanth, pay attention to when I pause. Insulin has already been made by incorporating genetic material into bacteria, the cultures of which have become synthesizers of insulin. 4. Laboratory researchers in Europe demonstrated that gray parrots could learn the kinds of symbolic and conceptual tasks that are generally considered as pre or co-requisites for complex cognitive and communicative skills. Number 5. Vampire bats can move side to side and backwards, similar to a spider. Instead of taking off in flight from the ground, these bats actually launch themselves into the air with powerful pectoral muscles. All right. Okay, so you're focusing on the S and the Z consonant sounds. Let's see how you're doing in this area.
Which is left in place, put in soil. Voice recording say 1. Casually hit blowers which have a muzzle velocity of 150 miles per hour or more.
See, you're having too many pauses in there, and you're putting equal emphasis on all the words in there, and it's hard because you need to focus more on certain kinds of words. So if I read that, I would say gasoline leaf blowers, which have a muzzle velocity of 150 miles per hour or more, blow away topsoil and ground cover, which, if left in place, would help soil to hold precious moisture and would minimize the number of times plants have to be watered.
Topsoil and groundwater which is left in place would help soil to hold precious moisture and would minimize the number of times plants have to be watered.
Right, so as you practice this, go back and practice with me as I read this sentence and try to read it at the same pace, with the same rhythm, with the same tone.
2. If the wire is bent into a coil is a solenoid, the magnetic fields of the individual loops combine to produce a strong field through the core of the wire. 3. Another relationship between electricity and magnetism is that a regular changing electric current in a conductor will create a changing magnetic field in the space above the conductor.
And that A, you're not making that A vowel sound long enough, so it's space, space.
Which in turn gives rise to a changing electric current field.
It gives rise to a changing electric field. So again, you're not clearly pronouncing all the sounds in those words.
So, in this way, regularly oscillating excited electric and magnetic fields can generate each other. These fields can be visualized as a single wave that is propagated through space. 5. Associative learning involves the association of time sequences. An example of which is classical conditioning. Voice recording say 1.
Okay, so overall, I think you're pronouncing the S and the Z, I think, for the most part, but it's just your overall intelligibility is not very high. So right now you're between about 40 to 50% intelligibility, so you have to work on clearly pronouncing all of the sounds in the words and making sure you're not putting too much stress on every word. You're pausing in appropriate parts in your sentences, right? So let's read some of these together here. Let's go to number 2. And you can practice with me right now. If the wire is bent into a coil called a solenoid, the magnetic fields of the individual loops combine to produce a strong field through the core of the coil. 3. Another relationship between electricity and magnetism is that a regular changing electric current in a conductor will create a changing magnetic field in the space about the conductor, which in turn gives rise to a changing electrical field. 4. In this way, regularly oscillating electric and magnetic fields can generate each other. These fields can be visualized as a single wave that is propagating through space. 5. Associative learning involves the association of time sequences, an example of which is classical conditioning. Okay, this next student is completing a pronunciation pretest for vowel and consonant sounds. So let's see how she does in this area here.
Hi Michael, my name is Olina Dubova. This is my diagnostic pretest for vowel and consonant sounds. Lesson 7. Pot, board. Wrong, row. Honor, over. Father, though. Lesson 8.
Though, pot, wrong, ah. So it's that ah sound she's having a little bit more trouble with. Okay, let's keep going.
Pet, pot. Map, mop. Tech, talk. And on. Mac, mock.
So she's having problems here with the pat, map, tack, and mac.
Lesson 9. Bright, brown. Broil, lie. Loud, loyal.
Okay.
Pie, pound.
Okay, but notice how she says bound. So she's not pronouncing the P with enough air.
Lesson 10. Gate, get. Late, let. Mate, met. Plate, bled. Then. Lesson 11. Meet. Pit.
This is the hard one for her right here.
Lip. Sit. Hit.
Very tough. So you have meet, mit, peat, pit, leap, lip, seat, sit, heat, hit.
Lesson 12. Look. Luck. Took. Tool. Tough.
She's having trouble here too.
Cool. Lesson 14. Much. Mesh. Cheap. Sheep. Feather. Shaft.
So she has trouble when the SH or CH is in the middle of the word, it looks like, on this one. So that's lesson number 13. Alright, let's keep going.
Cheer. Lesson 14. Of. Have. Fine. Vine. Fan. Van.
So she needs to pronounce that initial V. Van, vine, have.
Wafer.
It's wafer, waver.
Lesson 15. How. Habit. Who. Rehash. Behavior. Hate. Batman. Beaten. Important. Writing. Hat-trick. Threatened. Lesson 16. Major. Measure. Fragile. Fraser. Legend. Legion. Engine. Azure. Large. Asia.
Not bad, that's a hard sound to
Lesson
master.
17. Cake. Keg. Sink. Seg. Came. Game. Cap. Gap. Lake. Leg.
Now what she needs to do here, the G when it's at the end, she needs to make that vowel before it longer. So she'll say lake, lag, sink, sag. So she needs to work on that.
Lesson 18. Clean, rear, better. Luggage, rugged, other. Right, light, committed. Lesson 19. Base, flap.
She's got trouble with this one. I knew she was going to have trouble with the P even before I got to this particular part of the diagnostic pretest.
Cap, lap.
Notice lap, lab, cap, cab. She's saying lap, lap, cap, cab. So there's no way to distinguish. A native speaker cannot distinguish between these two words because of her pronunciation.
Pay. Lesson 20. Lies. Zip. Zoo. Maze. Elisa.
Yeah, I think she needs to work on that Z consonant sound too.
Lesson 21. Multiple. Robert. Example. Russia. Principle. Number. People. Philosopher. Lesson 22. Volcanism. Written. Maximum. Question. Hammer. Reason. Chasm. Often.
Okay.
Lesson 23. Cheap. Deep. Hard. Tight. Train. Drain. Fat. Team. Dream. Lesson 24. Thigh. Breath. Breathe. Teeth. Through. Though. Worthy.
Okay, now I have a pretty good idea what she needs to do here, so let me go ahead and give her some comments here. Oh, now again, remember, that I'm doing this video right now. The reason I'm doing this video, I want to show you guys at YouTube. Number one, I have an online TOEFL course. And I have over 10,000 students every year who register for my course. And if you do register for my course, I will help you improve your pronunciation, just like I'm helping this student right now. Hi there, these comments are for Olena, and I am Michael, the founder, owner, and the materials writer. So thank you for completing the pronunciation pretest on vowel and consonant sounds. So I'd like you to focus on, now I would recommend you go through all of my pronunciation lessons at least one time. However, here's where you spend more time. Lesson number 7, lesson 8, lesson 11, lesson 12, lesson 13, lesson 15. Lesson 15, I want you to focus on the glottal stop. For example, words like Batman, bitten, important, brightening, hat rack, threatened. You can practice those sounds in that lesson. Also, lesson number 17. Now here's the key. It's kind of tricky. You understand more or less how to pronounce, I think, the K and the G, but you want to remember a phonological rule in your pronunciation. When a voiced consonant is at the end of a word, the vowel sound which precedes it should be pronounced a little bit longer. So then you say cake, keg, sink, sag. Then you say lake, lag. Now, in contrast, if the word ends in a voiceless consonant, Olena, it means that there's no vibration in the vocal folds when you make this sound. The vowel sound before voiceless consonant should be shorter. Right? So that's a rule you want to remember, and especially for lesson number 17 and lesson number 19, the same thing. But with 19, you're not producing that P, even in the initial position, with enough air. So pace, bass, flap, flab, cap, cab, lap, lab, pay, bay. So you need to work on the initial sound, and then in this lesson, remember, if the P's at the end, the vowel which precedes it should be shorter. If the B's at the end, the vowel should be longer. So that's something you want to work on, definitely. Lesson number 20. Just overall, you need to work on that Z sound, the zoo, zip, lies, maze, that particular sound. All right, so let's keep going. So I think you're going to tell me a little bit about yourself here. Let's go.
Answer the following questions. Question 1. What is your educational background and your work history?
And I would say your educational background, not background, but background. Put stress on the first syllable, and not history, but history.
As I said earlier, my name is Olena Dubkova.
I want to say, as I said earlier.
Came from the United States, from Ukraine.
Okay. Believe it or not, I'm teaching. I just taught a Ukrainian student, 2 Ukrainian students, in the English language program over here at California State University, San Bernardino.
I'm a pharmacist. I graduated from medical university, and I was working as a pharmacist in my native country.
Wow, good for you, and congratulations on getting an advanced degree.
For about 10 years.
All right.
Question 2.
Now, let me tell you, you have a very strong non-native speaker accent. The only way you're going to get rid of it is make sure you're practicing my lessons, but that's not enough. Olena, you want to make sure you're watching movies on a weekly basis. I'd recommend 3 or 4 movies each week. Watch a lot of TV, listen to music, listen to the radio. Really get more exposure in English, a lot of listening exposure, and that gets you more used to the sound patterns of American English. And gradually, little by little, you will be able to improve your pronunciation with practice.
Why is it important for you to improve your speaking and pronunciation abilities of American English?
Okay.
It is very important for me to improve my speaking pronunciation abilities of American English because I want to pass TOEFL iBT test.
You want to say, I want to pass. You need to pronounce that P with more air. I want to pass the TOEFL IBT test.
Now I have ECE evaluation of my diploma. So to get license, I need to pass TOEFL IBT.
Even not do. I need do. No, it's I need to. I need to pass the TOEFL in order to get my license.
Test. What do you hope? Question 3. What do you hope to achieve in this course? I hope and I believe that your course will help me to get a high score on TOEFL IBT. Thank you.
Yes, but it's not just a high score for you. We need to get you up to 26 points or higher on the speaking, right? And 24 points or higher on the writing. So what I'm recommending for you is right now, because of your pronunciation problems, I would start sending me speaking practice tests every day or every other day, and maybe the other half of your time right now, Elena, I'd recommend that you spend practicing pronunciation. You can send me some pronunciation practice every day. Just remember, do not send me more than 60 seconds of audio every 24 hours. I want to make sure I can talk to everybody, all of my students. I don't want to teach too many students. My course is perfect right now. I think I got about 80 people who've joined my course this month. That's fine. I don't need to go more than that for right now. But remember, about half of your time right now should be pronunciation practice. Then half of your time you want to be doing speaking practice tests. And I will give you comments in both areas. All right, you can do this. So let's take a look at one more thing. Before we finish the audio file here, I want to take a look at what I call your intelligibility. I did say you have a pretty strong non-native speaker accent, right? So let's figure out on a scale of 1 to 7 where your speaking and pronunciation of American English lies. Of course, we know where you want to be. And I'll put a link to this. I will put a link to this into the email that I'm sending you. All right, so I'm going to say here, on a scale of 1 to 7, 1 is a high beginner of English, and then 7 is a near native speaker. For you, you have that pretty strong accent. I'm going to put you in the 3, intermediate level, and put you right at the end there at 4.0 out of 7. So if you can make these changes that I'm talking about in this video, it should help you to move to at least 5.1 or higher, I think, which should be enough to get you to get the 26 speaking score you're looking for. Right? So anyway, thank you for completing the pronunciation pretest. And now I'm going to send her an email of these comments that you guys just heard at YouTube. So she's from Ukraine, and think about her goals for a minute here. If she passes the TOEFL and if she gets 26 on the speaking, what do you think is going to happen when she becomes a pharmacist here in the United States? You know what's going to happen? She's going to be making between $150,000 and $200,000 a year. Ha! And you think she's going to be poor there? Not at all. So, and she'll be a great taxpayer. She'll be buying a nice house, some nice cars. She'll be contributing to our economy by having her in our country. This is a very good thing, and she'll be giving a great service to the patients that she works with. And my job is to help her so that she can speak more clearly in those professional situations. Yeah, hi there, Shri, and I am Michael. And I'm going to listen to your independent speaking practice test number 6 right now. So which do you think is better, living on campus in dorms or living off campus in apartments? So let's hear how you answered this question.
I would definitely prefer to live on campus in dorms rather than living in an apartment outside the college.
Okay, one thing here, you got the P, the campus and apartments. That P consonant sound, you need to pronounce that with a little bit more air.
This is because it is very affordable. For example, when I was graduating, I was living in hostel for 4 years. And
now, when you say it's affordable, instead of saying, for example, start off with maybe 2 general points about why it's affordable, and then give an example to support each of those points, and that can probably help you develop your ideas a little bit more.
I had to pay only 500 rupees a month towards my accommodation and food fee. And in addition to that,
it's a good example.
I didn't have to pay anything for the transportation.
I would say I will not have to pay,
as it was only 1 or 2 minutes of walk from my college, from my hostel to college. However, one of my friend who was living in an apartment outside the college campus was working very hard to pay towards her transportation, food and accommodation.
Okay, so the example of your friend, you weren't able to fully develop that idea, so maybe it wasn't a good idea for you to bring that up. Because make sure if you bring up a point, you want to make sure that you can develop that particular idea. Alright, so now let's take a look at the rubrics here. I think overall it was a pretty good response, so maybe some minor problems with topic development. You had pretty good control of your language use. Delivery, be careful of the P consonant sound, as I pointed out. Maybe even the T, like to, the T consonant sound, you can probably work on a little bit. I'm going to put you at 3.0 out of 4, 23 points out of 30 on this practice test. Yeah, hi there, Raphael, and I am Michael, the founder, owner, and the materials writer for all of your lessons at the 7-step system to pass the TOEFL iBT. So, you are answering the question here: when faced with an emergency, some people take on the role of leader and others prefer to take on the role of followers. Which role do you prefer? Give details and examples to support your response. Right? Okay, now let's see how you answered this question.
When I face an emergency, I definitely prefer to take the role of a follower because in these kind of situations, I usually act in an impulsive manner, which in my opinion is not a suitable behavior for a leader in these situations.
Okay, so you react in a more seclusive manner. Good vocabulary, I like that.
For example, in the situation of being in a sinking boat, if I took the role of a leader, I could recommend people to get out the boat and to swim for their lives. However, a person who were able to think in a more objective way in these critical situations perhaps could help us to deal with that problem in a more effective way.
Yeah, I think that was okay. I think you had a pretty good organization to this one, so I think you're in pretty good shape here. I liked the topic development. I liked some of the vocabulary words you used in there. Use the word reclusive manner. Use the word objective. You gave the example of the sinking boat, and you showed how a leader may react differently to this situation than you might have. You had good control of language use with both grammar and vocabulary. Delivery maybe is the only weakness, right? You had some slight problems there, but I'm going to put you at about 24 to 26 points out of 30 on this particular practice test, so very nicely done. Hi there, these comments are for Comatop, and I'm listening to your TOEIC speaking practice for today. And this one is proposing a solution. So let's see how you do in this one. So it looks like you're being presented with a problem. You're asked to propose a solution. All right, so be sure to show that you recognize a problem. You propose a way of dealing with the problem. So the criteria here is pronunciation, intonation, stress, grammar, vocabulary, cohesion, relevance of content, and completeness of content.
Hello, this is Noble from ABC Company. Thank you for your call. I'm returning your voice message.
Okay.
So you mentioned that you want to increase your sales by attracting new customers during lunchtime.
All right, so you're acknowledging what the problem is, right?
You know what? I've been thinking about the same thing. First of all, why don't you create an official Instagram page where you can post the pictures of your lunch menu? As you know, Instagram is currently the hottest social network on the planet and has become the perfect place to market your business and attract your ideal customers. Secondly,
all right, so you're proposing the solution and the reasons why it can help this business generate more sales.
I suggest that you make some colorful and attractive flyers about your lunch menu. And
I like the specifics, colorful, attractive flyers, so that's good vocabulary.
hand them out in the business district or the commercial area. Finally, you could post advertisements for your restaurant and the lunch menu on social media such as Facebook. Please let me know what you think. I'm available in the office all day, so you can contact me at your convenience. Talk to you soon. Bye.
Very good. I think I don't have any problems with this one. I think that your intonation was great. It was like you were talking with a smile on your face, a lot of emotion, I think, in what you were saying. And yeah, hi there, Coma Top. I just listened to your response to the proposing a solution. So as I was just saying, I think you had very good intonation. I liked how you recognized what the problem was with the company. You proposed solutions with Instagram and Facebook and so on. You were very specific, and your ideas seemed to connect together pretty well. So overall, I think this is a very good response on your part. It was very complete in content, and what you said was relevant. I think what you said was relevant to what the problem was. So very good speaking, and your natural sounding intonation was excellent. So very good job on that. Yeah, hi there, and I'm listening to a practice test by one of my online students, and I'm going to go ahead and give you some comments on this one. So let's see, so you're doing, it looks like, number 2, choose an event that has meaning for you, explain how it has changed you. That's the question that you're trying to answer, right? Alright, so let's hear how you answered this question.
Many people have many important events in their life. For me, the most important event in my life was when I graduated from university. I remembered that moment when I received my certificate. It was the happiest moment that I had ever had in my life.
Okay, so you're giving some description there.
I was so excited. I was proud of myself and what I did before in my years of studying, because it was very hard. So
I would say I was proud of myself for what I had done. So I think the past perfect tense works better there, because you're saying I was, which is a past action. You're talking about something in the past. You're referring to something which occurred before that time frame. So the past perfect works better in that case.
I suffered many times, and there were many days that I couldn't even sleep. They were very stressful for me to reach my goal. But when I graduated, I felt that all my efforts and what I did didn't count. Instead, I graduated with a high degree. Many people have many important events in their life.
Okay, so overall, let's take a look at the rubrics here, see how you did here. So you talked about graduating, I think delivery, I'd like to see you work on your intonation a little bit. So you learn about that. Pronunciation lessons 36 through 40. I didn't notice any language use issues. Topic development, maybe there's a way you can make your ideas connect together a little bit better. So go to Speaking Lesson 7 and Speaking Lesson 7.1 to learn more about that particular way. That's going to be very, very important for you. All right, so I'm going to put you right now at about 23 points out of 30, 3.1 out or 3.0 out of 4 on this practice test. Yeah, hi there, Mohammed, and I am Michael, and I'm going to listen to some of your pronunciation practice exercises here. So you're focusing right now on sentence rhythm, so you're weakening or reducing the function words while stressing content words more. All right, let's see how you're doing in this area.
To reduce the amount of people dying at younger ages, many developed countries have been educating its citizens about world hunger.
Okay, the problem is you're not making those nouns, adjectives, adverbs, and verbs louder than the content words. There needs to be a difference between your stress and your pitch and all of that. So I would say to reduce the amount of people dying at younger ages, many developed countries have been educating its citizens about world hunger. Right? So you can't just pronounce everything at the same rhythm.
Michael Jackson and other singers a few years ago wrote a song titled Feed the World, which raised millions of dollars for starving children in Africa. Many non-profit organizations feed starving children in many countries spawned from that drive. It is not uncommon to see television ads in the U.S. soliciting donations
Let's say soliciting donations
from Americans in an effort to feed those inside and outside borders of the United States. Consequently, many children who would have otherwise died due to the starvation are given vitamins, staple food, and preventive medicines to help extend their lifespans and the quality of life.
Okay.
To reduce the amount.
Okay, so let me read it with you here. To reduce the, I'm going to change this to number. To reduce the number of people dying at younger ages, many developed countries have been educating its citizens about world hunger. Michael Jackson and other singers a few years ago wrote a song titled Feed the World, which raised millions of dollars for starving children in Africa. Many non-profit organizations to feed starving children in many countries spawned from that drive. It is not uncommon to see television ads in the United States soliciting donations from Americans in an effort to feed those inside and outside the borders of the United States. Consequently, many children who would have otherwise died due to starvation are given vitamins, staple foods, and preventative medicines to help extend their lifespans and quality of life. So that's a model of how you should read that. Now, I'm going to try to find one of my students right now, she's actually working on the TOEIC, and she's doing TOEIC type speaking, but I'm going to attach her file to your email too, and her TOEFL speaking is 28 out of 30, and her intonation is really, really good. She worked very hard, and her first language is Japanese, and it's not easy for Japanese speakers to make changes in their tone. If she can do it, you can do it. It's just going to take practice. All right?
I prefer the solar energy because in our country we have a lot of sunlight in the moon. First of all, in our country there is always summer, so we have a lot of sunlight, especially in the moon, and consequently we should approach that having some solar panels. As a result, with those panels we will be able to transform solar energy into electrical energy. As a consequence, we will be making some money or saving some money also. Overall, that's why I would prefer the solar energy.
You can also say, and we'll be preserving our environment better because we'll be depending less on fossil fuels, for example, coal, oil, all those kinds of things, right? All right, so let's see how we did on this one here. Okay, so overall, I think it was a pretty good response. So you had pretty good delivery. Language use probably could be a little more specific and maybe more the advantages of solar over coal or wind power. You talked about how you have sun at around noon in the summertime, but my understanding is you can use solar power year round as long as you have sun shining. So if you said, well, in my country we have approximately 250 days of sunshine every year, and we could definitely take advantage of this power and transform it into electricity, thus depending less on fossil fuels and more on the solar energy. So I'm going to put you at about 23 to 24 points out of 30 on this. Maybe some minor weaknesses with topic development, but overall pretty good response. Yeah, hi there. These comments are for Marcelo, and I am the founder, owner, and the materials writer for all of your lessons at the online TOEFL course, a 7-step system to pass the TOEFL iBT. So you're doing independent speaking task number 289. There are many types of energy sources like wind, soil, and coal. Which form of energy do you prefer and why? All right, so let's hear how you answered this question.
Many people have many important events in their life. For me, the most important...
This isn't it. Okay, hold on a second. Let me double check something. Yeah, hi there. These comments are for Coma Top, and I'm going to listen to your TOEIC speaking practice for January 15th. So you're focusing right now on expressing an opinion. All right, so let's see how you did with this one.
If you ask me, I prefer not to have a tour guide when I travel overseas because I can create my own travel itinerary. I'm gonna talk about the trip to the UK, which is one of the big...
No, I'm gonna, a little bit too informal. I would say I will talk about or I'm going to talk about. So for the most part, I wouldn't use too many reductions in this kind of speaking. Of course, when you're talking among your friends and you're using conversational English in less formal situations, you can do that.
Best experiences I have ever had. I went there alone and so had a lot of free time. I decided to visit a small town called Warwick by chance, which is not usually included in a tour package. In a popular tour package from Japan. I bumped into a group of international students on the way to the town by train, with whom I ended up having a lot of fun. We exchanged our contact information before I got off the railway station, and we actually still keep in touch on Facebook.
Okay.
Which is great, If I had a tour guide, I wouldn't have had a chance to become friends with them.
This is tricky. Let's go back to what you just said here.
Actually still keep in touch on Facebook, which is great, If I had a tour guide.
If I had, when you use the two hads together, put more stress on the main verb. So if I had a tour guide, you want to kind of say it like that. It was a little bit awkward how you said it.
I wouldn't have the chance to become friends with them.
I wouldn't have had. So your grammar's pretty good. So you're using the past perfect to talk about a past impossible situation.
Thanks to a trip which I created by myself, I was able to...
Which I what? Let me go back to what you just said.
Would have had a chance to become friends with them. Thanks to a trip which I created by myself, I was able to...
Okay, I'd probably say which I had created by myself there. So maybe you're saying that I would not have had about a trip which I had created. So talking about something in the past and some past action before that, so maybe past perfect.
Make such wonderful friends. which is the reason why I'd rather travel alone than attending a trip escorted by a tour guide.
Okay, I think overall pretty good on this one. So maybe you had some minor issues with pronunciation. You remember the word if I had a tour guide, so maybe some minor issues with pronunciation. Overall, pretty good grammar. You had good intonation. Maybe some minor sentence stress issues with this one. You had good vocabulary. Things were connected together really well, especially at the end when you had your conclusion. And then you made what you said was relevant to the speaking task. And you had a complete, I think, accurate response to the question, so your details were effective in helping to illustrate your argument. So overall, I think it was a pretty good one.